And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the meme coin.
No, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
you're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, but meme coin, meme coin.
I'm saying billions.
All right, let's give Paul a chance to clean it up real quick. Paul, final thoughts.
Clean on my side of the street.
All right,
you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Garrett, go ahead.
Caroline, you guys are very proud of your record on transparency. I have 2 transparency-related questions for you.
Sure.
On the president's dinner tonight, will the White House commit to making a list of the attendees public so people can see who's paying for that kind of access to the president?
Well, as you know, Garrett, this question has been raised with the president. I have also addressed the dinner tonight. The president is attending it in his personal time. It is not a White House dinner. It's not taking place here at the White House. But certainly I can raise that question and try to get you an answer for it.
Okay, and on the Qatari aircraft, the Air Force has said they're going to classify all the information about the work that has to get done to bring it up to snuff to be Air Force One. Previous Air Force One contracts, including the one that the president entered into in 2018, are public. That's available knowledge. Will the White House commit to releasing who's doing that work and the cost of that work? I understand that some elements might be classified about specific systems, but will you commit to releasing that basic information so people can see ultimately what this costs?
Well, Garrett, as you know, that's a question for the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force, who is accepting this jet as part of their fleet.
Declassify anything he wants.
Well, you'll have to ask the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force, who is accepting this jet as part of its fleet.
A few moments later.
It's turned out, if you look at the numbers over the last couple of months, a lot of industries went very bad, and they're coming back pretty rapidly. But this one was really, it's becoming a stalwart. Can you imagine? It was, a lot of people thought it would be the opposite. But it went down less and it went up more. And it's, you're hitting really high numbers today, I see. But it's, I think you're all pretty happy with this industry. There's a lot of spirit for it. There's a lot of spirit. There's a lot of spirit for the country. I just got back from the Middle East, and we brought back with us trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. Somebody said, you know, every other president, when they leave the country, they lose trillions of dollars. We brought back trillions. And so,
well, there was another White House briefing today, so I figured, why not? It's like riding a bike. I'm going to go try to answer as many of the questions as I can, but with the actual truth. Okay, we're going to start with NBC's Garrett Hake.
On the president's dinner tonight, will the White House commit to making a list of the attendees public so people can see who's paying for that kind of access to the president?
Garrett, we would all love to see that list. Of course the White House isn't going to release it, though, the list of who's attending the dinner, because they don't want anyone to know who's paying for access to the president and paying to make Trump and his sons richer. We do know a few things, and I've talked about a little bit of it, like people like $6 million banana guy Justin's son and a hacker named Ogle were reportedly on the guest list, if that gives you a sense of the clientele there. We also know that a majority of the attendees who are getting VIP access, by the way, are likely individuals operating from outside the United States. So we know some, we'll learn more, but yeah, I wouldn't be hitting refresh for that list. Okay, Mary Bruce from ABC News.
Following up on the dinner tonight, you mentioned this is not a White House dinner, but the president is always the president, and the Trump family is making money off of this. So can you just explain, how is this not the president using the office to enrich himself?
Mary, I can't explain it because that's exactly what this is. I mean, just imagine for a second that Joe Biden or Barack Obama said, you know what? I'm going to go have dinner with 200 donors, many of them from other countries, and they're going to pay millions of dollars to an outside business that makes me and my family a whole lot richer. And by the way, I'm not even going to tell you who they are. But don't worry, it's fine, because I'm not on the clock. Imagine the field day Republicans would have with that one. Okay, next up, Yamiche Alcindor from NBC News.
The president showed a video that he said showed more than
1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that?
What's not true, Yamiche?
It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
Well, first of all, Yamiche, you're right. That was not true. I mean, according to local news reports, the video was a compilation of protests against the violence that all farmers face, regardless of skin color. But Trump became, we think, obsessed with this false narrative of white genocide after seeing a Fox News segment on it back in 2018. And then that obsession only grew once his best buddy and huge donor, Elon Musk, basically moved into the White House. Musk is also obsessed with this completely disproven and totally offensive claim. So to go back to your question, I guess, I mean, why did Trump show it? Because it's a white supremacist dog whistle, and because his friend Elon Musk probably asked him to. Okay, next. How about Mike Carter from Newsmax?
You had two Republicans last night that voted against him, Massey and Davidson. Does the president think that they should be primaried?
I mean, what do you think, Mike? Of course he does. They opposed him. I'm sure it's being communicated, or already has been communicated to them, that they have a chance to make it up to him by supporting the final bill. And if not, then Trump, probably Musk, and the rest of the MAGA machine will all do their best to support primary opponents to make a point. Though I would say, though, Mike, since you asked me a political question, the politics is probably harder for vulnerable members who actually voted for it and are not even trying to explain their vote. I'm looking at you, Mike Lawler, and a couple others.